back to the channel that knows nothing. I'm Jim and let's get to it. Anyway guys, today we're doing a book for all occasions, so let's dive on into it. Aha! I caught you. You've been caught red-pawed. Oh, look how big and fluffy you are. Look how fluffy. Oh, yes. We're going to cry about the love and attention, aren't we? And tweet! The first question in this tag is a book that made you cry, and I've gone different, not less. I have never related so hard to someone in my entire life that wasn't a fictional character, that was someone real. And it was because a lot of mine and Chloe's experiences were fairly similar when it came to like growing up and being in school. I did not like school. I don't think anyone really likes school, and I feel like if you did, maybe you were lying to yourself, or maybe you were popular and just never noticed how shit school was. So I did enjoy the book. I feel like it made me feel very empowered because of who I am and being dyslexic. I feel like, you know, a lot of times I haven't gotten jobs because I have mentioned that fact, and it kind of sucks that people are just seeing you as like a big problem, but you're not less because you're different, and I really like that. The second question in this tag is a book that made you smile, and I've gone with The Tea Dragon Society. It's just a very wholesome, humble read. Like nothing too dark or gloomy happens. It's just mostly a happy book to read. Also, tea and dragons together, what's not to like? I love it. Like it's so cute. Also, I'm a big fan of graphic novels. I love them. So like, it's a great fix for that because they're giant. Question number 3 in this tag is a book that made you feel passionate, and I've gone with A Scatter of Light. I think this book is about finding yourself and knowing that timing is a bitch, and like not to worry because everything's gonna fall into place and be okay. And I think it's about life really, but I really loved it, and I really did connect so much with like some of the characters, not just one, like pretty much all of them, and it just felt like it didn't even feel like a coming of age novel. It just felt like I am this age novel, and like dealing with the stresses of life and dealing with like different sort of things that happen in life and trying to like overcome them and be okay. And it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to like fuck up a little, because like not everyone's perfect, and you don't need to be that picture perfect version of yourself. But I really did love it, and I really thought, Astrid, what are you doing? And I really think it does like embody that idea of like you can't sort of just stop living, you have to keep going, keep moving forward. Like, and I think that's like a good and bad thing like to have in a book, but I also think it's really good because it's just like you can't just stay in one spot, because like life is just going to keep moving forward, so do you. Number 4 in this tag is a book that makes you feel cozy, and I've gone with Legends and Lattes. I really like this book. I think I've spoken it about. Can you be normal for 5 minutes? Astrid, why you gotta be so loud? Look, I've been playing with this and it's all I want. It's the end of a bloody GoPro. I think I've spoken about it before on the channel, and I feel like I'm going to speak about it forever because I really did enjoy it. It's such a D&D vibe thing. It's basically a barbarian that does not want to be a barbarian anymore and goes off to run a coffee shop, and I love it. Like, I feel like that would actually happen in D&D. Like, someone would just leave the party and be like, you know, my character's going and running a coffee shop now. That's what's happening. And it's just cute and wholesome, and obviously, like, it does come with, like, a bit of, like, drama, but, like, not too much. And there's going to be a sequel, which I'm really excited for. I can't remember what it's called, but I'll put it up. Number 5 in this tag is a book that transports you to a magical place, and I've got to go. I have to go with Percy Jackson. Like, it's never not gonna be that one. It's so dear to my heart. I think I've used that phrasing before, probably. And I am so excited for the TV show. You have no idea. I'm so excited. Like, so keen. Mainly so, like, we can get everything right this time. Like, I love the movies. They're always going to be special to me because, like, it's Percy Jackson. And admittedly, they didn't get a lot right with them, but I did still like the casting, and I do like the casting for this one too. I'm just interested to see how things are going to play out and what they're going to put in, and if there's going to be anything taken away. Like, I don't think there will be, but it'll be interesting how everything goes and what, like if they've, like, copied things, like, word for word from the books, like, oh, it's gonna be good. Number 6 in this tag is a book that scared you. And I feel like there is so many out there, but I generally, like, steer clear of scary books. But I was super keen to read An Interview with the Vampire. And I have never been so terrified in my life. Like, during the day I was fine, and then at night I would either, like, hear, like, noises in the house and I'd be like, am I okay? Am I going to die right now? Like, I'd be listening to that book before going to bed. I'm like, I am terrified. But I'm so interested to see how the story plays out and what happens in, like, the next books that I'm like, do I dare keep reading this even though it scares the bejesus out of me? Number 7 in this tag is a book that made you feel jealous. And I don't think there is, like, a particular book that has made me feel jealous, but I am always a little bit spiteful of those characters that end up working things out, because I know in my mind and in everybody else's mind, you're just like, yep, just talk to them and you'll work everything out and everything will be okay. Astrid! And, like, sometimes that happens in real life and sometimes it doesn't. And it always annoys me when there's, like, people in my life, friends or, like, otherwise, where you have a grievance with them or something bad happens and then you just don't talk about it, you sweep it under the rug. I feel like so many characters in books do that, but sometimes that comes back up and they end up resolving it. Whereas in life that doesn't happen. So I always, like, feel a little bit, like, jealous of book characters who are a bit more courageous than I, that want to clear the air and want to, like, fix things. Because, like, I know that, like, that is, like, yes, a possibility, but also it's not, because some people are just like, I'm perfectly fine with what I've done to you and fuck you. But that's just the way of the world, you know? Just a bit jealous of that, like, those characters agreeing to fix things. Number 8 in this one is an inspirational female character. And I feel like I've gone off the rails with this one a little bit, but I have my reasons and I will explain them. But I've gone with N from Ace of Shades because of her character development. I feel like when we meet her, she's a very, like, vulnerable and possibly naive person. But I feel like throughout, like, the story or her story, like, we learn so much about her and she really develops into, like, herself and who she's meant to be. I feel like when we meet her, she's so, like, unbelievably nervous to be herself. I feel like she really gets a backbone when she learns about who she is and where she's come from, and, like, when things are explained to her, I feel like she really grows into a fabulous feminine character, and I really like her. I really like the series. I think it is quite cool and just, like, a light read, even though dramatic things do happen in it. I will stand by that series. The second one is my favorite. I think I've spoken about it before, but yes. It is a wild ride and kind of similar to Six of Crows, so if you're keen on that, you should definitely give it a read. Number 9 in this tag is an inspirational male character, and it is also the last question in this tag, and I've gone with Ove, like, it's from a man called Ove. That I feel like people should know that, but I've gone with him because I really didn't expect to love him as much as I did, and I think he really is so against everybody, but then realizes that he does need them as much as they do need him. And I think it's such a, like, a sad but also very inspiring story that he leads. Like, you know, throughout the entire book, he does not want to be in life anymore. He wants to kill himself because he doesn't have, like, the love of his life anymore, and that would be very hard to go through. I can't imagine what it would be like losing a partner, having been with them, like, pretty much most of your adult life, and I couldn't imagine losing them. And the fact that he gets interrupted in, like, his suicide attempts every single time because one of his neighbors needs him, I feel like it was like his sign from his wife to like, you can't go yet, they still need you. There's people out in the world that still need you, you have to stay. And I feel like it was a very inspiring story in like, even in his attempts, he wasn't meant to leave the world yet, and there was so many like people, the neighbors, I feel like he really connected with them and he made friends with them, and he didn't want to admit to himself that he had made friends because he's like a grumpy old man, but he did, and he ended up getting a cat too. The cat chose him. He didn't choose the cat, which is how it really goes, doesn't it? And I just really thought it was a really sad and lovely story, and I found him very inspirational. And I know a lot of people, like I found in the comments of Goodreads, don't really like him as a character, which I found odd because honestly, in the beginning, you're just like, what a grumpy old bastard. But then you sort of like learn more about him. And as you go through the story, you're just like, he's not as grumpy as he appears to be. He's actually just got a very hard shell. But inside, he's got a very soft gooiness and is a lovely dude. Anyway, guys, that's all I've got for you today. Please like, subscribe, because that is always nice. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.